Hi, I'm Andrew Bell, and we're going to be doing some vocabulary, idioms, and phrases from the Netflix series Explained. The episode is from Season 1, Episode 18, Why Women Are Paid Less. All right, let's start with some phrases. Women made just 65 cents on the dollar. So compared to a man making $1, women would make 65 cents. In the workforce means working outside the home, working in a company someplace. Routine, repetitive work means work where you do the same thing over and over. Repetitive is the adjective for repeat. High finger dexterity. Dexterity refers to the ability to move your fingers well, to have good coordination, to not be clumsy, to be graceful with your hands and your fingers. Spontaneous applause. Applause is clapping hands, and spontaneous wasn't planned, it just happened. Plaster your office with family pictures. Plaster here is a verb. Plaster is a white powder that's used in construction, and it's mixed with water and other ingredients to go on a wall. It's actually ancient technology. The Romans were using that. Very early building material, even far beyond the Romans. But anyway, plaster in this case means to completely cover. It means to cover completely. Without the authorization of their husbands, means without their husband's permission. That was mentioned in the story, I believe it was in Rwanda, that before the war and the genocide in 1994, women could not open a bank account without their permission, without the permission or authorization of their husbands. A use it or lose it benefit. One thing here, you have this use it or lose it as an adjective, and so that's why you have all those dashes, because this long phrase is modifying benefit. And then a use it or lose it benefit means you have this benefit, and if you don't use it, it's gone. You can't save it. Okay, suffixes. Suffixes are word endings, and we've got ate as in eradicate, which is a verb. One thing to know here is that ate has two different pronunciations depending on whether it is an adjective or a verb. When it is being pronounced as a verb, it sounds like 8, or the numeral 8, like number 8, okay? And when it's an adjective, it sounds like it. A very good example of this is this word. When this word is a verb, it's graduate. And when it's being used as a noun or as an adjective, could be noun or adjective, in this case it's a noun, it's graduate. So you could have graduate level classes, or you could be a high school graduate or a college graduate. It could be, in this case, used as a noun or adjective. So you have Jewett or Jewate. Ate it. Graduate. Another one is this word. As a noun, you have a predicate, which is part of a sentence. You have the subject and the predicate. And then as a verb, it means to depend on. So it's predicated on, to predicate. AL is a suffix that indicates an adjective. So you have biological. Itty makes something into a noun. And we're interested in that because it impacts the stress. Above, we had the word disparity, and so you have parity. So you have disparity, and so it's right before itty. You get disparity. ly turns an adjective into an adverb, makes a word into an adverb. And then eyes make something into a verb, penalize. You have a penalty, and then penalize. Okay, some vocabulary. Pay gap. Pay gap is going to be the difference between what two people are paid, in this case, men and women. Earn is different from win. In English, win is money that you do not get from work. You win something in a casino. You win from gambling. Earn comes through work. The fastest multiplier is the fastest way that you can cause something to change, something that will cause a great amount of change, a great amount of growth quickly. Eradicate is to completely eliminate or get rid of. Gender, a little bit complicated word. In a very simple sense, it's male and female. But it has more nuances or shades of meaning. Either of the two sexes, male and female, especially when considered with reference to social and cultural differences rather than biological ones. The term is also used more broadly to denote a range of identities that do not correspond to established ideas of male and female. Disparity, inequality. So we have two words here that are finishing with ity, disparity, inequality, and the stress comes immediately before. And disparity refers to the difference between two things or the lack of equality. Credentials in college, it's the level of degree from the university, such as a bachelor's degree, master's degree, PhD. In addition, it includes things like specializations, such as MD for a doctor or JD for a lawyer. Menial work is lowly or degrading. Personally, I think all work is great. But if you think some work is better than another work, some people have the idea that, some jobs that pay less or something are lower. Me, I respect anybody who works. Hover. Hover is to float or be suspended in the air. Like sometimes a helicopter can stay in one place, or a drone, you can have it sometimes hover and stay right there. Out. When you put out in front of something, it means like a competition. So if you out-earn, it means you earn more than somebody. If you outnumber, it means you have a bigger number than somebody. Sea change. Sea in this case is like the ocean. And it means when the water completely changes direction, which means the boats have to go another way. A sea change is a striking change, a huge change. Shrunk is the past tense of shrink, and it means to be smaller or less. Caregiver is someone who takes care of someone. The primary caregiver is the number one person to give care. So it's the one who is responsible for giving care. In this case, many societies expect women to care for children. Head of state is the leader of a country, a president, king, queen. Trajectory is the path that a rocket flies. It's used here to mean how a person's career develops over many years, the trajectory. So in the video, they compare women who don't stop working to take care of children and women who do, and their trajectories are different later on. Childbearing years. When you're born, it means your mother bore you. So bear is present, bore is past, and born is the past participle. Childbearing years are the age in which a woman can typically give birth. Get promoted is to move up in your job to a better position with more responsibility, more money. Diverge is to go in completely different directions, and then in this case, the salary becomes quite different with one going up and one going down. penalty as punishment, to have to pay a fine or suffer in some way. 1980s advice column. Before the internet, people used paper newspapers. One section of the newspaper was called the advice column, and people could write letters and send them to the newspaper with problems asking for advice and help. And so people would do that. They would write to the advice column. Rings true today. When something rings true, it means that it's true. To still ring true today means something was true before and it is still true now. The social fabric is everything that keeps society together and functioning. It's the glue that holds everything together. In this case, in the case of Rwanda in 1994, after the war, everything fell apart. The social fabric was broken. Breadwinner, a person who goes out to work and gets money for the family. Irreducible percentage. When you reduce something, you make it smaller and smaller. But if you cannot eliminate it, it's irreducible. So an irreducible percentage means that even if you get it down to like 3%, still there's going to remain something. So in this case, the irreducible percentage is an amount that you cannot get rid of or eliminate. In this case, there is no country where women make 100% of typo there, gosh. In this case, there is no country where women make 100% of what men do. Even in the best countries, there's a small amount that cannot be removed. Paternity leave, when a father is given time off from his job to remain home and take care of his child. Maternity leave is when a mother is given time off from her job to remain home and take care of her child. Okay. And that finishes up the vocabulary and phrases for episode 18 of season 1 of Netflix Explained, Why Women Are Paid Less.